Good morning, everyone. The book I'm recommending today is Good to Great by James Collins. So, before getting into the book itself, let me tell you a little about the author. James Collins is an American researcher, author, and consultant who focuses on business management, company growth, and sustainability. He has written several influential books on leadership, but Good to Great is one of his most famous. Now, what I understood from the book is that the whole book is trying to answer one big question. That is, why do some companies become really successful while others just stay okay or just stay average? So to find out this, Collins and his research team spent 5 long years studying more than 1,400 companies. And finally, they found that out of all those, only 11 companies built this leap from being good to great. And most importantly, they were able to stay great for more than 15 years. So the central theme of the book is it explores what those 11 companies did different from others to become great and to stay great. So let's see what are those. First one is they had very humble but determined leaders. They cared more about the success of the company rather than taking credit for it. We usually think that strong leaders have to be very loud or super confident, but actually the quiet and focused ones make the biggest difference. This is what we can learn from this book. And secondly, they focused on getting the right people first. Before choosing a strategy, they build the right team. If the people are right, we can solve anything together. That's something I think applies even to us, whether we are in school, college, or in life. The people around us matters more than we realize, right? And another important lesson was about facing brutal facts. These companies didn't ignore problems or pretend that everything was fine. They faced all those problems and figured it out. And because of that, they could take smarter decisions. Running away from the problem is never a solution. Facing it with full courage is what makes the biggest difference. And next is hedge your concept. This is one of the most important concepts in this book. It's like this says that these companies focus on one thing they could be the best at instead of trying to be good at everything. Personally, I felt this like an advice for us too because if we can figure out what our inborn talents are, what excites us, and how we can create value, we'll also find our own path from being good to great. And then comes the culture of discipline. These companies didn't need bosses constantly pushing employees to do a particular work. Instead, the people were very self-disciplined and motivated to do what was right. And another interesting point was about technology. Collins makes it clear that technology alone does not turn a company great. They use technology only when it makes sense, and they didn't chase the trends. They use technology to support their goals and not to distract from them. And finally, the flywheel effect. Flywheel effect is like pushing a really heavy wheel. At first, it barely moves no matter how hard you push. But if you keep pushing patiently, it starts to move faster and faster until one day it starts spinning on its own. That's how these companies become great. These companies didn't look for things or shortcuts. Instead, they kept doing right things consistently. And until the momentum carried them forward. Connecting this in your personal life, it's like going to gym or learning a new skill. At first, we don't see any result, but if we keep going consistently or if we keep doing consistently, someday we will notice a big change. Right? Have you ever noticed it? So overall, what this book really teaches is that greatness is not about luck or one big idea. It's about consistent effort, the right thinking, honesty, discipline, and most importantly, patience. And honestly, I think these lessons are not just for big companies, they apply to us too. Because if we can find what we are truly good at, surround ourselves with the right people, face our challenges with full courage and honesty, stay disciplined, and keep doing things consistently, we too can make a difference in community. And thank you. That's all about this book. I don't think that's what was summary of Living Good to Get by James Collins. It's actually a good book. Try to read it once. It gives a lot of lessons which will be useful for our future life and also in career.